Hello everyone. Thank you to come whoever jumps on board. David Hebbard here. Today I'm just doing this live. It's Q&A as well, so if you've got a question that you want to ask me, feel free to comment in the box. Anyone that jumps on today can have a strategy call with me so we can dive deeper into your solution. But the main thing is what I want to do today is give you something that is a good tool. It's a good way to help. And basically, the tool that can help you is a swish pattern. And all you do, I want you to imagine you've got two pictures. And in those two pictures, you've got the one picture in front of you that has got all the limiting beliefs, the problems that you want to get rid of. The second picture that you're going to put on beside you is the picture that you want. It's got to be the desired outcome. How do you want to feel? What do you want to feel? What does your outcome look like? How does that outcome shape your life? What are the people around you and how do they feel? You know, put as much detail in this other picture. So for argument's sake, well, look, the picture that your outcome picture is on your right, your problem picture is on the left. When you do this exercise, you stand up. Make sure that you're always standing up. You see a lifestyle pictures, both of them. And then what we want to do, we want to, whatever beliefs and problems are in this one, and if you want to wipe it out, the best way to do it, imagine when you're sitting there, you're looking at the pictures, you got the outcome, what you want, how you feel, the problem, the issues that go with it, everything that makes you feel horrible. If you want to erase this picture, this is a quick and easy tool to do it. Stand up, look at the two pictures. Bring the picture that you don't want forward a little bit. And as you see that picture, I want you to imagine that you're going to pick up a big clump of black mud. And as you imagine that mud, put it in your hand. Look at the mud, let it feel it. Imagine that mud is going through your fingers. Imagine that mud is so gooey in that you know when it gets caked onto something, it's going to cake it on. So you're going to look at the picture that you don't want. This is the picture that's all the problems, issues, and that. I want you to go down, grab that mud, and then start from the top of that picture and start washing that mud over the... You can't hear me. Oh, shit. Hang on. I'm still having this problem. Hang on, I'll come back in a minute. I'm having issues with my... Okay, so can everyone hear me okay? I'm having problems with my internet connection today, so just been told that someone can't hear me. But anyway, I'm hoping you can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know. But what we're going to do, we're going to go to the top of that picture and we're going to rub that picture right out. We're going to put as much mud, we're going to pile it on there. But make sure when we do it, we go whoosh, and we really cover that picture up as much as we can, right? So what we're going to do is make this mud so thick on this picture, and when we cover it completely, we're going to continue to do that. If you did this exercise on a daily basis, this picture that you've got your total outcome, what you want, how you want to feel, is going to start coming more apparent. The subconscious loves pictures. It loves to see the image. Get rid of this one, get this one. And it's as simple as a quick swish pattern with the mud. And I've used it so many times with clients. They love it. They love using it. Now that's the tool that I got for you today. Now, do you know how to recover from heartache? Yes. And thank you for letting me know you can hear me. That's good. I appreciate that. Yeah, well, it depends on the type of heartache you've got, but every heartache can be recovered. it's about looking at the situation differently. You know, sometimes we need to move on, but we also got to accept. And accepting that what is and what has been, I'm assuming this could be something from a relationship, and we've got to look at it and go, okay, we can look at it in a negative way and think, this person did that to me, they left me, you know, how could they do that? Or we could look at it in a different way of, well, maybe we weren't meant to be together for too long. And I know that's a hard concept to understand. But if we look at a concept and say, we have timelines. People come and go into our lives. Sometimes they're short, sometimes they're long. Now, if we're holding on to something because the universe has told us that it's only meant to be a short connection, yeah, I'm not saying don't be sad. I'm not saying it doesn't hurt, because it does. It hurts a lot. But the thing is, it depends on how long you've been in this for. Because if we stay in that position, you're only hurting yourself. All you need to do is just look at it and go, well, maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe we weren't meant to be for that long. Maybe that person was just that, learning stage. But the person that's coming is waiting for you. But to get to that person, you also need to move forward and say, accept what has happened. Accept that, yeah, things happen, things fall apart. Depending on if there's any belief systems there, depending on if there's anything that's in behind that, like maybe it's something that you've created as well, because you might have an acceptance in your problem where you feel hard to accept something. You don't want to accept because you just want to feel wanted. You've got that need to just want someone to be there. But that's restricting you from moving forward. Do you know what I mean? Let me know if that makes sense. So has anyone else got any more comments? Feel free. While I'm on here, I'm happy to answer any comments, any questions, anything that people have got. I was talking to a friend the other day, and this friend of mine went through a bad period. And when I was talking to him, I spent an hour on the phone. I got him to look at different ways of looking at life. And it's amazing that even people that we think that are doing okay aren't really doing okay. It is okay to have these issues, but it's okay to start to move forward from them, because we don't have to hold on to what we do hold on to. And as I had that conversation, and he went into depths about the struggles, the issues, and just the way it made him feel. I was there as a friend, as a colleague, and I helped him go and look at things in a different way. He didn't look at, when I asked him one thing, what meaning do you have in your life? What's your purpose? Why are you here? He gave me a good question. Hey man, it was a good answer. And he says, I'm here for my family. And I turned around and said, what about you? And he goes, he stumped him. He didn't know what to say. The reason why is because we haven't been brought up to think about, what about us? We don't get taught that. Well, I know I didn't. I know a lot of people that I speak to didn't. There's probably some people out there too. We didn't get taught to actually look at life and say, well, what are we here for? Are we here just to work? Are we here just to exist? Or are we actually here to do more? Are we here to enjoy life? And we never really get taught this sort of stuff. Thanks, Luba. And the thing is, we are more than what we think. We're here to do more than what we think. I hear people all the time I speak to lots of people about it. I've helped so many different people. I've had one of the personal people I've helped. She lived in an anxiety world for 40 years. 40 years. She worried, she had paranoia with it. She worried that the neighbor was always out to get her. She worried that wherever she went, even in the aged care home, the retirement village that she went to, that they're always out to get her. And when she came to see me, she was so in a panic about it. And she still reckoned the person that lived, because she moved away from the person that was next door to her, was still after get her. The thing is, I looked at her and I'm like, wow, you've been holding this on for 40 years. She goes, yeah, because no one could help her. Within 3 sessions, within 3 weeks, she was fixed. Completely gone. Completely new lady. You know what happened when she came to see me the last time? She says, wow, I didn't realize there were so many nice people where I was living. But I was just so blind to see what was around me. I thought they were out to get me because I could never see my name on their board. It was like a board they had for dinner. And I told her, I says, but maybe the name is there, you just can't see it because you're so clouded in your mind. You're just so clouded in what you're sitting in. Yes, it is a real problem. These are real problems. They're real issues. But the thing is, the only thing that's not real is how long you can have it. That is what's not real. These doctors, these psychologists and all that, and don't get me wrong, psychologists do a great job. But the fact is, hi Michael Smith, how you going? The thing is, everyone's telling these guys it's got anxiety, depression, stress and all that, just to live with it and accept it and manage it. Why? We don't have to just accept things and manage things. Why don't we just get rid of them? It does take a process. It does take strategies, but it also takes responsibility. You know, once we start taking responsibility for our own selves, we can literally create what we want. We need to look up, stand up, and say, okay, how am I responsible for this? And this can go back to the heartache question as well. What responsibility do I have a part of this? What have I done to also create this? How can I change it? We need to move forward. And you know what? If you can get back with your ex-partner and all that sort of stuff, great. You know, that's the whole idea. It's not about leaving somebody. It's about finding yourself, discovering yourself. That way you can reconcile with your partner or reconcile with your ex. You know, especially when there's kids involved. But then there's sometimes when you actually grow, and this is what happens when you grow, understand life differently, look at your perspective, you suddenly go, well, you know what? We weren't really a good match. And that's okay. Because then you'll find the person that is going to be perfect for you. Keep going with questions. If you've got any questions for me, I'm more than happy to answer them. I'm happy to stay on here as long as you've got some questions, guys. So when you really put that in perspective, how do we look at our map? Our perception of the world is only what we see. My map is different to your map. My map is different to my wife's map. My map is different to everyone's, other people's map. Your map is different to my map. Our maps are all different. It's just our perception of reality. Now, we can shift that perception. We can look at that perception of reality. We can change that perception of reality. If something's not serving us, get rid of it. We are part of this box. You imagine a big box in front of you. And if I was to say to you, in this box, put in the word society. In this box, put in schooling. In this box, put in your parents. In this box, put in your family. Put in the government, books. Put everything in this box. Now, the problem about this little box, you're a product of this box. Everything in this box is your make. It's your product. So when I say and ask you, who are you? If you weren't in this box, if all this stuff was taken away out of this box, do you know yourself? Do you really, really know yourself? Probably not. Because this box has been controlling you right from the day you've been born. This box is a system. This system dictates you. I've even had people tell me that they're not part of the box. They're not part of society trends. Yeah, they are. More than you know it. Everyone's part of the trend. What do you think those big billboards up there? You don't think you're under hypnosis on a daily basis? You're under hypnosis every day. You go drive down the street, guess what? Advertising, hypnosis. That's social hypnosis. They're getting into your mind. They get into your way you see things. This is how we're being controlled. This is how we're in a system. Yeah, we get people there that march for this and march for that because they're breaking one part of that box. But their make is still the same. They've still got most of their boxes. They've still got most of their construction. You know where all your beliefs come from? Same thing. Your grandparents' box. Yeah, and it just generation. And you know what, I actually say something about beliefs. Beliefs is false reality. Beliefs are just perception of reality that have no factual evidence to be true. A belief is something that has no actual evidence to be true. It's just our perception of reality. Another thing that I look at a belief, look inside the middle word in the word belief. And if you take out a couple of the letters, guess what? You've also got lie. You've been taught a lie. But it's not a wrong lie, it's just part of that box. It's just part of the make. When you go to doctors and they say, this is what you got, you believe it straight away. You don't question it. You don't argue with it. You just believe it. You go to a psychologist, take this drug, you've got this, you got this, you got this, you got this. You just accept it. And then when someone says to you, well, why do you have that? That brings me to another person that I had. That person she came to see me for weight loss. And I helped her with it. And she was saying that she told me she had bipolar. And I'm like, oh, okay. And one day I questioned her about her drinking. I said, you drink it, why do you drink it more? Do you drink in the morning? And she goes, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. So how much do you drink a day? When she told me how much she drank a day, I'm like, were you drinking before you went into the mental hospital? She goes, yeah. Did you tell them you were drinking? And she goes, no. And I'm like, yeah. You don't have bipolar. You know why she doesn't have bipolar? Because you cannot diagnose a mental illness for an alcoholic. You know how I know that? Because I tried to do it, not with myself. I tried to put an alcoholic in a mental hospital because she was trying to commit suicide. You know what their mental hospital said to me? They would not take her. They would not assess her because the alcohol was what was controlling her. But you know what? She believed it because she didn't tell them one part of the story. And she accepted that. So, don't make me laugh. So, in the end of the day, we can accept what we have, or we can challenge what we've been told. I reckon for everyone, it's the best to just challenge it. Unless it serves you. Like, don't get me wrong. If it serves you, keep it. But if it doesn't, get rid of it. There is a strategy and system that can help you guys. Every one of you. There is a solution. You know, you can try, you can do it on your own. And, you know, I always applaud people. If they can do it on their own, great. But you know what? Most people can't. Because we have to break through the critical side, through the conscious to the subconscious. And you know what? Unless you know how to do that, it's not going to work. Because we don't have the capacity in a conscious awareness to do that on a conscious way. So I'm about to hop off. I'm more than happy to answer any questions if there's any questions. This is just me going through a few things. I've given you the tool. If you like a strategy call, let me know. Put a comment in the box after the video, and I'm more than happy to send you the link for a strategy call to discuss your issue and how you can move forward. You owe it to yourself to move forward. You owe it to yourself to finally overcome anxiety, depression, stress. Even the fact of even if you just working hard all your life and you're just stuck in a rut, you deserve it to yourself to find yourself. So why don't you do it? You know, you deserve it to be the people you're meant to be. And that's all great. You know, yous are all meant to be great. Yous are all got the capacity to be whatever you want to be. All you have to do is just want it and ask for it. You don't have to stay in the position you're in. You've just been told that. But I'm going to tell you it's incorrect. So anyway, if there are any more questions, I'm more than happy to answer. Feel free. I'm happy to stay on here as long as possible for you guys. If you've got questions, ask me anything. You know, I'm here as an open book for you guys. You know, I believe in helping you. I believe in you guys. I believe in all of you that are on here. I believe that you've got so much more than what you think. So much more potential that you aren't aware of. For anyone that watches this live or after, even after this, you've all got so much potential. You've got all so much that you can give. But you know what you need to do? Is give to yourself first. And just give that gift for yourself to help yourself. It is something you owe. It's a responsibility that you owe yourself. So, if anyone's got no more question, I'll hop off now, and thank you for listening to me tonight. Please share, pass it on, give it to people that you know that could benefit from this. Got one more question. How do you help? How do you help change in conditioning? We look at the belief systems. What sort of conditionings do you mean changing? Is it the beliefs? Is it the way you think? Is it emotional conditioning? All of that can be changed, especially emotional. Like we hold the secrets to correcting ourselves. We all hold the power. We all hold everything we can create. You've heard of neuroplasticity? In other words, neuroplasticity means they figured out that our brains could be reshaped and restructured. Scientists have now confirmed that our brains can now be changed and restructured. So any conditioning can be changed, whether it's beliefs, environmental, you know, all we have to do is know the tools, know the strategies. Some people, there's a lot of people out there that have got strategies. Some people have got a lot of tools out there. You know, it is about getting you to where there, but it does take action. It does take responsibility. It does take knowing that going, I want to change. I want to fix this. Anything can be changed. You've just got to want to, and you've got to take the responsibility to. So, in the end of the day, we may have this box. This box is probably small, it constricts us, it gives us a fixed mindset. Or we can open that box up and explore what we want. Give us a growth mindset and say, well, this part doesn't suit my life anymore. That's why I always ask you, who are you? And let me know. Tell me. Come back to me and say, this is what I discovered about myself. And we'll explore that. Like when I say, who are you? I mean, you're part of your parents, the society, the government, you're part of everything. You're that makeup of those first 8 years. You strip all that away and you go back to your raw self. Who are you? What potentials do you hold? What potentials have you got in your palm of your hands that you don't realize? Now, when it comes to conditioning, the same thing. We look at it, we strip it back to raw details and go, okay, let's reconstruct. Let's rebuild. Let's go, well, what can we put there instead? You know, it's not about putting bad things there. It's about saying, okay, if this doesn't serve me, what is the opposite to that will? Then we can get that and we create. We can change our conditioning. We can change a broken heart. We can change our beliefs. We can change well, some people have anger issues. But you know what? Guess what? That stems from your box. From the box that you're brought up in. There is a reason why. There's an underlying cause for all these issues. Now, the fact is that we can move forward from it. We can change anything that we want. We've just got to 1, step up, 2, take responsibility, 3, take the action, 4, get the help to do it. Because there's help out there that can help you get to where you want to be. But you've also got to take that action and that responsibility to do it. Because if you don't take responsibility or action, you can't sit there and say, nothing didn't work, if you don't get up and do anything. The amount of times I've had that, people try to say that to me. Oh, but this didn't work. Okay, what'd you do afterwards? Oh, nothing. I wanted to lose weight, but I can't be bothered getting off the lounge. I want to lose weight, but I can't be bothered exercising. Well, I was like, well, how do you expect to lose weight? You know, your body isn't there designed to sit there and while you try to eat healthy and expect that one's going to move if you're not going to get the exercise in. That's just ludicrous. You know? And you know what they say about insanity? Repeating something and never changing is a definition of insanity. Complaining about something and never changing it. Well, these are all bright people. You're all bright men and women out there. You've all got the power to change. You've just got to want it. You just got to take that responsibility, move forward, take action, get the help, and do it. You can either live yourself, it just exists, or you can live. Which would you prefer? Existing, just being here part of the box, or living and directing your life your way? I know I would love to living. I prefer living. It's a lot more better, a lot less stress, a lot less worries. You know, when you can go out onto a mountain and just look out on the ocean and just breathe in that air and say, you know what? I'm enjoying my life. I'm here to enjoy my life. You all are here to enjoy your life. You're all here to do something that, you know, we've only got one chance. We're here to live and enjoy our life. Because when we die, we've lost that life cycle. Yeah, you might come back in reincarnation like they do say, but then that's a different person. That person's got to live their life. Wouldn't you rather say no more to anxiety, no more to depression, no more to stress, no more to weight issues, no more to feeling lonely, lost, no more for feeling stuck, no more to that job that you hate? Wouldn't you just prefer to do that and go, let's move forward? Nah. It takes effort to get ready for workouts, but it takes, you know what? Just do it. You just set your mind and just do it. You know, you can easily look at the weights or look at running or look at walking. Start off small. Even if it's only 200 meters down the road. The next day, do 220. The next day, do 250. Or just keep on doing it. By the time you do that repeatedly for so many days, you'll start getting the rhythm. You'll start getting the hang of it. By the time, some people say you need to change a new habit. It takes 21 days. I always say give it 30 to 60. Everyone's different. Some can do it in 20, some do it in 30, some do it in 60. It depends. Once you create a new habit, it's that repetition of that habit that will get you moving forward. So you exercise, and even if it just means a little bit a day, the fact is that you're doing that bit a day, you're creating those new neuro pathways. You're creating those new systems, that new belief. You're creating it. Eventually, you'll just enjoy it and go, oh, I should have done this more often. So if any more questions, please keep going, because I'm more than happy to stay on here while you're answer questions if you've got some. So feel free. So in the end of the day, if we can create those pathways to move forward, it's just as simple as doing that. Do I think gaming is bad? It's not good for your brain, sorry to say. I restrict kids on their gaming. The fact is that the TVs, the signals, all that, and all you're doing is putting that into your mind all the time. It's not good for you, no. So I don't promote gaming, but I don't tell anyone if they shouldn't do it. But I know you play your games a lot too, so and I enjoyed my games too. But I do believe that gaming is an addiction as well, and I also hear a lot of things that happen with people that are gaming. They get lazy. They also lose their self a little bit because they're not stretching. This thing up here is supposed to be stretched. It's supposed to be exercised. It's supposed to be working and going and keeping healthy. When you're sitting in a screen, you've got all those blue lights. You've got all those the signals, everything that's happening at that same time. And it's not, all you're doing is giving yourself information that's not good for yourself. But I don't judge anyone that's a gamer. If that's what you enjoy, that's what you enjoy. But maybe you could look at it and say, well, I enjoy gaming, but maybe I can limit myself. You might say, well, okay, I can do maybe 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day, or whatever you prefer. That way you're interacting with people as well. I know people talk on gaming, they do all the headphones and all that sort of stuff, and I know people are, I know they say, you're talking, but you're not talking to real people. You're losing that connection to real people. And yeah, it is actually classed as an addiction, unfortunately. I know. I was bad on my phone. I used to play on my phone all the time. It was just that one game. And I got so much on it, it was distracting me. It was taking me away from what I should have been doing. And then I only had myself to blame for that. So Yeah, they do say it's an actual addiction to be gaming. Yes, it did make you feel isolated. Even though you can talk, especially with gamers nowadays, they can talk to anyone around the world. But we as humans, we also need that interaction. We need human interaction. Social media has really stuffed it for a lot of people. You know, people communicate over Messenger or texts and all that sort of stuff. You know, to be honest, I hate communicating over Messenger or over texts. I hate communicating with just writing. The reason why is where's the connection? Where is that human interaction? And that's what we're here. We're pack animals. We need that connection. We need to have that interaction with somebody. When you're texting or you're gaming and all that, you're losing that because you forget the time. You forget what's around you. You even forget that, oh, my partner made me a dinner 2 hours ago. Where is she? Oh, she's gone to bed. Okay. I'll just keep playing. We lose all that while we're too busy in front of that screen. I reckon, that's why I say, we need to connect. We really need to start getting better in connecting. We need to start going out and saying, hey, mate, I'm sick of texting you all the time. Let's go out to the pub. Let's go down the road. Let's go do something. You know, a lot of people are so stuck in these screens, so stuck in these computers, these little phones, iPhones. Oh, they're angry with me. Oh, I'm going to defriend them. Like, really? I've had so many people that, I'm going to unfriend you. I'm like, yeah, I'll just give you a call then. Because you know what? I prefer to ring somebody. I prefer to talk to someone. I actually prefer to talk to somebody over the phone or face to face. Because to me, that feels better. To me, that at least I know I've got that interaction. Yeah, it is time wasting. Well, you figured that too much time. That's why you should limit yourself. And you know what? It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. If you put yourself to a time limit, you'll find it hard at first. But the more you do it, the more you stick to that routine, the easier it'll become. You know, if we need to communicate, we should start doing the old ways, getting on that phone, having a good old chat, listening to somebody else's voice. Because while we're sitting here texting, social media and all that sort of stuff, we're losing that. We're getting isolated even more, you know? And trust me, I've seen, they even say Facebook is an addiction, which it is. You know, social media is an addiction because everyone's on this, oh, what's happening on Facebook? Oh, scroll. You know, I tested it. I got into a stage where I was doing the same thing. I found myself scrolling so much when I realized it was 3 hours into it. And I'm like, I didn't achieve anything in that. I looked down, I'm like, for what? Just to look at garbage, look at crap. And I'm like, why am I doing that? You know, we need to take this and look at this as in a different perspective. And this is where it comes down to in a different ways. We need to look at things and go back to how it used to be. There's more depressions, there's more anxiety, there's more stress, there's more loneliness, there's more isolation that's happening now, and it's getting worse because the era of technology. And trust me, I've had people turn around and say to me that, oh, but it's good to be, the kids are in technology. No, it isn't. I think it's the worst thing. Kids nowadays, well, what do they do all day? Oh, they're on technology. When do they go outside? Why aren't they playing ball? Why aren't they riding their bikes? And then they sit there and go, our youth is out of control. The reason why they're out of control is because they're so addicted to that stuff that's inside that they don't know how to be kids anymore. Yeah, I understand what you mean. I used to text my mates, they will be on Facebook then. That's an addiction. Anything you spend your hours doing is an addiction. That's correct. Like reading is good, yes, I do agree. It's because of the technology, but if you're reading a book or listening to an audio book, things like that, they're good because you're learning at the same time. It's different sorts of you're working that brain, you're working that mind, and that's what you need to do. So no, I totally agree with you. Yeah, so many kids playing Fortnite, no rugby ball or riding a skateboard. They don't even know what that is. You know, there was a current affair show that happened, I think it was a couple of months ago, and the parents were too scared to take their actual PlayStation off their son because he'll get all violent. You know what I would have done? I would have been like that angry dad that grabbed his son's PlayStation and ran over with a lawnmower. I would have done that. Because you know what? I don't believe in it. And so you want to do that, then that's mine now. Because in the end of the day, that's what all it is. It's just they're so scared to take it away, but they need to. Is that a good book? I haven't read that one. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I might have a look at it if it's got an audiobook. Yeah, it was a big thing, wasn't it? That Fortnite and how they were all that kids. Yeah, it could be prevented. Parents need to stand up a little bit. So, is that all the questions that everyone's got for me today? Thank you, Michael. It's good. And just remember, anyone that came on this live today or watches this live, feel free to comment why if you want a strategy call, and I'm more than happy to send you the link. Cool. Thanks, Michael. Hope it's all good over there. So we'll go one more round of questions and see how everyone's going. And if everyone's done, I'll talk to you later, and you all have a good night. Cool. You all have a good night, and just remember, you have all got great things to happen. There's a series called Strike Back on Netflix, done by Chris Ryan. I'll have a look at that when I get some time. Okay, guys. Everyone have a good night and enjoy it. Thank you. Bye.